Jump off in this legal life.
All right, guys, what's going on? Legal Life, back again. Got another video for y'all. Look, I need y'all to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, man. Every little thing helps. We're gonna get into what I think Glock should do for the next iteration of their slimline. So for the 43, 43X, 48. You can include the 42 in that too if you really want to, but it's not really a factor in my opinion. So number one, we all know, we're all gonna say the same thing, the sights. So you know, these guns are clear. Standard U-notch as every other Glock beside the 19X. Now I think since it was a government contract with the 19X, that's the reason why they try to get that in there. But if you're gonna come out with a concealed carry, I believe it should have some sort of night sights on it from the factory, because you're gonna carry this gun regardless. These are carry guns. So a set of night sights, perfect. White dot sights, I mean, I guess, but some night sights on either the 48, 43X or the 43 would be perfect. On here, you can see I do have a mirror glows. So I went and got my own night sights because that standard U-notch is really not it. Now, something that I don't know if everybody else feels the same way is going to be the controls. Now, this gun came out both of these guns came out in around 2016, 2015. So that's when Glock came out with their Gen 5. So as you can see, Gen 5, stippling Gen 5. But for whatever reason, they still have Gen 4 controls. So Gen 5, all Gen 5s, ambi controls for the slide stop, slide release. I don't know why they didn't do it with this. Maybe it was the transition period between Gen 4 and Gen 5, so they just went with more Gen 4 and just the Gen 5 stippling on the frame without the finger grooves and all that other shit. But in the next iteration of this, I would love to see a slide lock on the opposite side. That'd be perfect and slightly extended. Now, on my Glock 19 Gen 5, they're not extended, but they stick out enough to where you can get a really good leverage on it. These, they're really they're just tucked off. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's really up against there. It's for concealed carry and all, but I mean, it's not something I'm worried about getting snagged, put it that way. My slide lock is the last thing I'm worried about getting snagged on something. So extended controls, maybe slightly extended, but definitely ambi. We're gonna need that ambi slide release. I don't know why they didn't do it, but it could have been them just being lazy. So now, this next one is particular to me. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but the finish on these Gen 5 guns, I am not the biggest fan of. It's good, don't get me wrong. This is obviously I have a different slide on here, so I don't have the original slide with me, but this is the original Glock 48 slide, and you can see it's shiny, and it gets slippery. Any type of heat or moisture or anything, like, this thing gets ridiculously slippy. Now, I have a Glock 35 and a Gen 3. I personally prefer the Gen 3 Cerakote on the slide. It's real dull. It's a matte, more of a matte finish, but it's grippy. It's real grippy. This is really, really slippery. I don't know if you can see it building up on there, but it's not my favorite finish. We'll put that way. I'd rather go with a Gen 3 finish. If they're going to come out with another one, throw the Gen 3 finish on there at least, because this new finish, I'm not the biggest fan of. So now, everybody and their mother's going to say capacity. We all know Glocks, they don't give a fuck. They're not going to change their magazines for nobody. So I'm not even going to throw capacity in the list, because we all know that's a conversation for other things. One thing I'm going to personally say is, with the Glock 48, they need to change the recoil spring. Now, this recoil spring is the same recoil spring from a Glock 43X. I don't think that was the best idea. In my opinion, I don't like how this gun shoots. I find it really snappy for no reason. I think they should have went in, instead of making it fully transferable into the Glock 43X platform, they should have just went with a full-size recoil spring for this gun, specific for this gun, instead of the 43X shorter recoil spring. I think it does make the gun snappy. That's my personal opinion. But I mean, if you guys feel that way, let me know in the comments below, because that's one of my biggest complaints with the Glock 48 is it's really snappy, and I really feel like it's because this small ass recoil spring with the extra length on the slide. I don't know. Let me know if I'm wrong, but that's just how I feel. So full size recoil spring for the 48, I would be completely content. I don't know if they make, I know you can't get this one done. You would have to bore out some shit in here because they have the plug for it. So the same thing people used to do with their like I believe it was the Glock 26Ls and all that. You get the plug for it and you put it on the 19 barrel and it kind of works out. But in my opinion, those are the main things I'd like to see on the next iteration of these slimline Glocks. So sights, extended controls, ambi controls, a change of the finish, and specifically for the 48, a recoil spring swap to a full-size recoil spring and not the little brother's recoil spring. Let me know if you guys feel the same way in the comments, man. This is Legal Life. I'm out of here.